Hello everyone, Sarah here, and I'm going to do a little quick tutorial on what I'm going to be doing on my page today, and that is going to be making my own flare. So this is a regular flare badge that I purchased through a company, and you can see it's thick, and the edges are rounded, and it pops up a lot. Usually, sometimes it comes with these pop dots on the back, but they're nice and thick, and they're shiny, and they're kind of like a metal. Now lately I've been experimenting with creating my own elements that are similar to this. They're not exact, so let me show you what I mean. This is one that I made recently. It's Olaf, and it's just a picture that I printed off of the internet and punched it out onto cardstock. So it's very, very thin, if you can see. And I'll compare the two here. So they're not going to be, exactly like flare badges. They're just they just have kind of a similar look, a lot less expensive than buying the big flare badges, but it's also something that you can do, to make it personalized to your page. So let me show you really quick how I made that. All I did was I found these images off of Pinterest, these ones in particular. This is Sofia the First, and I'm going to be doing a page about going to a Sofia the First live Disney show with my girls. This is something I found on Pinterest. These are actually for bottle cap images, so they're bigger than they need to be. The ones I'm doing are only 1 inch, which is the Olaf one is only 1 inch round. These I think are a lot bigger, but I can work with them anyway. So you'll see how I do that in a second. But so when you're sizing pictures for this, I would try to find 1 inch just because of some things that because of what I'm using to finish them off. So I'm going to use my 1 inch punch on here. This is my 1 inch punch from Creative Memories, and I'm going to use that on these. And to create it, I'm going to use these epoxy stickers. They are clear round epoxy stickers. There's 24 in a pack. These are from Paper Studio that I got at Hobby Lobby. They're $2.99 for 24 pieces. And this is what they look like. They're just clear, round, 1 inch epoxy stickers. So let me go ahead and start here. So I only have a 1 inch punch, so I need to find the images that are a little bit smaller. So this one would be good, I think. I just need to, I need to find my scissors first. I'm not sure where they are. I might have another pair here. Sorry guys, I have no clue where my scissors are. Pretty sure little hands probably got into them and I don't know where they are. I'm going to use my daughter's, pardon me. So I'm totally using elementary grade school scissors right now. So I'm just going to cut this out so I can fit it into my punch easy. So I'm going to take it and line it up to where I want it to be. I'm trying to get her head like right in the middle there. Oop. There we go. So that is what it's going to look like. And then all I have to do is take one of these clear epoxy stickers, and I try not to get my fingerprints on them because they will show through. But what you do is just kind of try to line it up along the edge here on one side, and then just press it down fully. And I messed that one up. I totally messed it up. It's not lined up on the other side. Sometimes you can try to take it off. Sometimes it'll peel up nicely, and that one did not. See how it ripped and stuff? So I'm going to try one more to make it. It's really important to line it up nicely on each side because otherwise it's going to look a little funky. Let's try it one more time real quick. So stick it in here. Line it up the way you want it to be. And see if I can do it better this way. I'm going to hold it up instead of doing it right on the desk. So line it up on one side. There we go, much better. Hanging up a tiny bit on this side, but I can just trim it off. But there becomes my very own Sophia the First homemade flare badge, and it has a little bit of a shine because it is an epoxy sticker. And I am going to use that on my page, and see, it's very flat, so it's not going to take up, it's not going to pop up off my page a whole lot, so it's not going to pucker anything up. So I'm going to make a couple of these and a couple of these designs. I'm probably going to do this one and maybe this one since her head's a little bit smaller. I can get the 1-inch punch. And then I'm going to go ahead and get my page done. I hope you guys enjoyed that. And if you want to start experimenting with your making your own custom flare badges, this is a good way to get started. Okay, I'll be right back to get my page going. Thanks, guys. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started on my layout here. And I am using that very bright coral cardstock, and I'm not sure who the manufacturer is on that. It came in a box that Jennifer sent to us, and I'm also going to use that Adrian Lumen paper, and that's by Webster's Pages, designed by Adrian Lumen. It's the really pretty coral polka dot. So I cut that down by about 1/4 inch on each side, and going to use that on top of the cardstock. And so I'm just kind of going through my stuff here, trying to see what I want to use on my page. I pulled a few things. I don't end up using all of it. But the subject of this is we went to a Disney live show in Lubbock in September. And I wanted to make sure I got it documented because it was a big deal. And that's a picture of my girls before we left the house ready to go. They're in their Sophia shirts. And the show was, it was the Pirates and Princess one. So it was Sophia, and then they also had Jake and the Neverland Pirates. And Doc McStuffins came out and did a little song and everything. So it was fun. So I have my 2 pictures there. And the big group picture of everyone who was in the show, I actually got that online because with our seats, I could not get a good picture at all. So all their faces were blurry and just, it wasn't working. So I just went online and found that picture. Something that I did that didn't get recorded, I'm not sure what happened to my camera, but I took a doily and I cut it in half and I put some gesso on it because I'm going to use my gelatos and color the doily a different color. And I don't know why, for some reason, my camera wasn't on. I swear I had turned it on and then I came back and I was like, no, it's not on. So, but that's the only thing that you missed. So I just took a doily, cut it in half, and painted some just plain white gesso on it just to kind of prime it a little bit. Since I'm going to be using some watercolors on it, I don't want it to start disintegrating. So it just primed it a little bit. So I'm waiting for that to dry while I'm doing everything else. So I'm going through this little baggie that was in our box from Jennifer, and I'm just kind of going through to see what I can pull out. And Sophia is purple. So even though I'm not using like a purple background, I want to pull in purple elements around the page. So, the background's going to be that coral color, but everything else I'm going to be pulling in is pretty purple. So I have my 2 flare badges that I did, and I'm going to do a third one because I want to do 3 different clusters. So I'm choosing this one from my sheet, and I will hold it up here. Oh, and I did do a second flare badge that you missed as well, but you'll see them all really good in the close-ups. So I'm going to go ahead and start getting my layers put down here. And I'm waiting for, I think this is, yeah. So this is dry now. So that's the doily I cut in half and I put gesso all over it. So now I'm rubbing this gelato all over it. And if you haven't heard of gelatos, they are kind of like a watercolor in a stick. When you open them, they look like chapstick almost. And you just literally rub the color onto the paper or whatever it is you are adding color to. And then you take a wet paintbrush, and then you literally just run your paintbrush all over it and it blends in to look like watercolor, as you can see that I'm doing here. And I loved that. I do have purple spray mist that I considered using, but I just got these gelatos and I want to start using them a little bit more. So I decided to go with the gelato route on this one. So as I brush the wet brush all over it, you can see it's turning into, it looks like a very nice purple paint. So I'm going to set that aside to let that dry completely. And gelatos I got at Michael's. They had a little package of 4 different ones. And the color I use right there is called raspberry, and it's a nice purple. I just pulled out my pictures a little bit because I'm going to be putting that doily right there. So I realized I put adhesive behind the pictures before I put my doily down, so I didn't want it to be stuck too good. And I believe right here I'm looking for, yes, letter stickers. I wanted to pull in more of the darker, like a darker shade of purple with my thickers here. And these thickers are called Fantastic. And they're a nice purple foam font. And I'm just going to spell out Disney Live. That's going to be my title here. And I had to get my second pack because I didn't have any more E's on here. And I'm just kind of deciding where I want my embellishment clusters to go. And that's dry, so I'm going to go ahead and get it stuck down. I'm going to use my small roller adhesive. The ATG on the doilies are very delicate, so it rips them a lot, so I tend to use different adhesive for my doilies. So I'm going to stick that there. That's a nice pop of color, nice pop of purple there. And I'm going to stick our ticket from the show on top of that. And I'm going to go ahead and put my flare down. So I'm going to use some pop dots for them so that they stand up a little bit and have some dimension. I'm using a little thinner pop dots. They're not super thick. They add just enough height there. I'm going to use some enamel dots, but I'm going to place everything else first. These are nice little acetate stars that have kind of a pearlescent almost finish to them, and they're a shade of purple as well. And I pulled out these 3 little paper circles that were in that package, and I'm going to stick those down. And the edges almost have kind of like a scallop, like they were punched out or something. So they had a nice little element there. And I'm going to use these little flowers on each one of those circles, and I'm using glossy accents to stick everything down. I'm going to stick the stars down here with glossy accents as well. And I decide not to do a whole lot of journaling on here. The only thing I do is I write down what it was and where we went, because we don't live in Lubbock, so we had to go out of town for it. But I don't know, it didn't really require a whole lot of journaling for me because we went to the show, there's the ticket. They had a great time, so I just didn't feel the need to, say a whole lot about it. So I'm going to use these enamel dots to put in the center of these flowers here. And I just add a little bit more glossy accents in the center just to make sure that we're going to stay. And those are from Studio Calico, the enamel dots are. So here I'm going to do my tiny bit of journaling. I'm just going to put Disney Live Stage Show, Lubbock, Texas. And I'm going to cut those into strips and use the Colorbox ink that I used around my pictures. And that Colorbox ink is called Grape Slushy. That's a little cat eye. Is that what they're called? Cat eyes? Yes, cat eye ink packages. So I'm just going to ink the edges of my little journaling strips there. And once I get those stuck down, I believe that's it. I don't believe I add anything else, and I'm really happy with the page. I love that I was able to use those bright coral colors and kind of tone it down a little bit with the purple. And that's going to complete my page, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you go check out the Layout a Week blog and check out all the other inspirational layouts from the design team over there. Have a great day, guys. See you soon. Bye.